My chair is kind of slidey, but when I was practicing earlier, I had pants on. So now that I'm in bare shins, I think I'm going to put the blanket on the chair seat because I want it to be like virtually frictionless. Okay. So what we're going to do is build out from here. Okay. So I'm going to keep one leg on the floor, bring my left shin up onto that chair. And I'm going to play with, I want to take this thigh, hands are going to be in that boxer stance. I'm going to think, I want this thigh to go back. Okay? That also causes this thigh to go back. But I'm focusing on this one. Okay? So I'm going to get back, and then to bring this thigh back under me, I'm going to circle this shoulder up. That brings this thigh more vertical. I'm going to reach it out, let my torso come forward, circle up to bring me back up. Okay? Circle up. I'm going to lose the blanket, but that's no big deal because it seems like my skin is frictionless enough. And then I sink the shoulder and the hip to bring me back up vertical. This leg is going through a range of motion, but I'm not focused on bending and straightening this leg to move me. I'm focused on the synchrony of the side on the chair. So one more time here on this side. I also kind of notice like when I'm upright, I've got pressure in the top of this foot because of my limb length and the chair height. Okay. From this boxer stance, this thigh going back, I end up, torso comes forward. I end up kind of feeling the knee on the chair or the top of my shin. Okay. And then I'm going to reach this up to bring me back up right to the foot. Circle that shoulder all the way around to bring me back up. This stance leg is working. Okay, we're going to switch sides. Okay, so now my right foot is up on that chair, hands in that boxer stance. Again, I'm going to slide this back. I kind of get a little bit more knee, kind of bottom of the femur onto the chair on this side, and then it's a big reach up to circle me back up on this leg. So this thigh is changing positions, but it's this side that coordinates that. Just feel for a second what happens if you focus on this leg, bending and straightening. Feels very different than if this leg's still going to go through that range, but it's going through it because of how I'm coordinating this other side. So I'm going to punch that arm forward, bring myself back up, bring myself back up, bring myself back up, bring myself back up, bring myself back up. This leg, is definitely working, but it's different than if I focus on working that leg versus coordinating the other side. Okay, so that is kind of the drill to kind of get the action happening, and we're going to add on. So let's come back. So I'm standing on my right leg and my left foot is up on the chair. Boxer hands. Okay, and I'm going to take thigh back. Thigh back. Elbow, forearm forward, and then all the way up. Thigh back. Good, I'm going to do one more. Good, once I get here, what I'm going to do is spin that foot on the chair, spin that heel, so I'm in something that looks kind of like warrior two with this leg on the ground and this leg here. And then I'm going to work the spin forward of the heel, just bring the arms up, and we're here. Okay, I'm going to bring this forearm over onto this thigh and reach up from the outside of that ankle out through those fingertips. Good. Now I'm going to work to pitch this knee end of this thigh back, straightening out that leg. Ball of the foot might come off the chair. Let that trail hip go where it goes. Coming into a version of elevated triangle, okay, or a windmill stretch. Then we're going to bring ourselves up. This heel is going to spin, turning me around to face this chair. I did a little hop too to get this foot placed where I wanted it. Now I'm in a version of high lunge or warrior one because I've got that back heel down. I'm going to reach my arms up, okay, and then from here, okay, bring hands to that boxer stance. I'm going to take that same arm on my leg that's on the chair, okay, and that hand, and just like when it was our back leg, I'm going to reach it up and down, which elevates that back heel because it's got to go somewhere because of that weight shift. Okay, so I want it to come, and I might even reach both, and you'll feel that weight shift puts the load into that leg on the chair. Good, okay, and then we're gonna step it down, bring the hands to the chair, you'll walk your feet back, find your down dog here, okay, and in this down dog, come to plank, and let's play with the folding of our sides. So this time when we go to down dog, I want you to fold your sides forward or to the floor. Have that sense? Okay. And then fold them away from the floor as you come to plank. This time, have them neutral. As you go to down dog, fold them away from the floor. So fold them the other way. Okay, and then fold them towards the floor to come back into plank. And then we're going to do one more downward dog plank using the one that kind of gave you the best sort of system support or tension and took any kind of sense of floppiness or over tightness as you moved from plank to your down dog. There was less sense of kind of bracing anywhere or collapsing into anywhere. Then we're going to move from here. Shift the weight into one leg. You're going to step the other leg behind. Come off. Wild thing. Reach up and over with that arm. Oops, my hand's slipping on the chair seat. Then you'll bring it back through center. Three-legged dog. Other side. Reach it up. Step it over. Spin onto one hand. Lift the hips. Wild thing. The other side. Back to down dog. Okay, plank, step a foot forward, reposition your back leg, that leg's going to come up, find your spacing for your warrior one here, again, hands in that boxing kind of stance, them reaching up is what's going to raise that back heel. Reach. Reach, reach, Last one, reach. Okay. And then we're going to spin that heel so that we turn and square up to the long edge of that mat. Okay. Pitch this thigh towards the floor. Find your version of triangle, kind of elevated windmill here. Feeling a stretch probably in that trail hip. And then bend that knee, forearm on the thigh, outside of the foot all the way up to the pinkies. Think long both sides of the waist, extend in side angle. And then arms come up, warrior two. Okay, here's going to be your tricky part. You're going to spin ball of the foot, heel, ball of the foot, heel to turn you around. So now we've got our other leg up on the chair, hands in that fighter stance. Now I'm more sweaty, so we'll see how that leg slides. And here we go. I'm going to reach, thigh goes back, bring myself up. Punch forward, thigh goes back, all the way up, last one. Good, and step both feet together into Tadasana. Okay, we're going to go through it again. This time starting on the side we finished on, and then we'll reverse it the way we did. Okay, any questions? So figuring out how to maneuver, whether we're leading heel or metatarsals, heel or metatarsals, might have been tricky that first time round. So just be super gentle with yourself. I know what's coming. I've practiced it before. So my balance is my balance. You could always, but I hope what you're figuring out too is what you do with your shoulders and your hips can have them work more synchronously, and so the balance is actually better. So I'm hesitant to say get a chair or something to have in front of you as well to aid in that balance. Maybe just pause the video, kind of play with the transition, come back, start it, flow through again would be the better way to go, I think, to start to feel more steady and fluid, and also just noticing your system's reaction to the height changes, and if the default is always to stand up, we want to be able to fall our torso. It's very good for our vestibular system and our balance ultimately later in life. Plus, when we fall the system, our joints bend, which have them participate, which is very different than being on a straight leg, where now those joints, it's a lot harder. So any little micro movement in the foot feels much bigger further up. Whereas if I fold that leg, the micro movements don't reverberate. The joints can deal with them. Okay? All right. So we're here. So I'm going to put my right foot up on the chair. I'm going to be on my left foot. Hands are up. I'm working that leg that's on the chair side to animate this side. Okay? Hands are up in that boxer stance. I'm going to coordinate this humerus forward, that thigh back, get to that starting position to come up, reach and circle that around. Reach, circle it around. That's what's bringing me up on this leg. Good, last one. Okay, this is where we're going to spin this leg, spin this heel, find our warrior two shape. You might work that heel on that front leg forward to get you where you want to be in that hip. Okay, and then forearm on that thigh. I might spin that heel, get some length from the outside of that foot out through the fingertips. Then I'm going to work with pitching that thigh. Ball of the foot might come off into my version of triangle. Okay, for me it's going to, because otherwise that's as straight as I'll get it, which is fine. Then I come here. Okay, now from here, this is where I'm going to spin that heel. I might hop that foot, hop that foot. Now I'm in my warrior one, squared up to the wall. Okay, hands in that kind of boxer stance. And again, we're going to think, reach up, circle those shoulders. That's what's going to get those shoulder blades moving. Maybe play with circling them back or circling them forward. Which one kind of helps lift that heel? Okay, and then that foot's going to come off. Hands come to the chair seat. Walk those feet back. Plank. Okay, fold the sides of your body towards the floor or away from the floor as you come to down dog. As you come to plank. One more time. As you come to down dog. Good. And down dog this time. Shift your weight. We're going to take one foot off. So the foot that was on the chair in our warrior one here, it's going to come off up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Then it's going to kick behind us. We'll take a hand off the chair, lift the hips, reach that hand to the sky overhead, press, press, press into that chair. Wild thing. Flip back, down dog, plank, down dog, three-legged dog, other leg reaches up, it kicks over, take a hand off, reach it overhead, okay, flipping it back, down dog, and then we're going to step that leg forward, the back leg forward, that leg's going to come up onto the chair. Warrior one here, hands are up, I'm going to reach. Might have a sense too of folding your sides either towards the wall or away from the wall. Good. Then we're going to come down, spin that ball of the foot or hop, find your position for warrior two shape, straighten out that leg to whatever degree or let the ball of the foot come on. This is your triangle, extended side angle, warrior two, and then we're gonna heel, toe, toe, heel, flip around, boxer stance. We're already in this starting position. This, we're gonna get closer. This thigh is back, and we're gonna reach it all the way up. Reach it all the way up. You can hear I'm sweaty now. I'm sticking in spots. Good, one more time. And step that leg, palms together into prayer. Little chair here. Let your weight shift kind of between the balls of the feet and the heels. Okay, let's bring arms up, cactus arms. Actually, let's bring hands boxer. And we're going to take one shoulder back, one shoulder forward and up, back through center, a shoulder back, a shoulder forward and up. One more time. To set up our twist. And back And take those arms up to bring you out of your chair pose. Lovely. Okay, we're going to move into our restorative postures. So when I get here, I can stretch out the legs and just find the balls of my feet on the wall. That creates a bit of an end point. So then it becomes really important. My pelvis has got to be able to slide because I can't be between two end points or things won't move. So sitting on my butthole, okay? If the shoulders worked to help get this tag of the pants moving, go for it, all right? You're going to think shoulders up, elbows come towards the wall. Maybe they kiss the wall, maybe they don't. But you'll feel how the blanket slid back. The butthole isn't on the chair anymore. And you're kind of weighted on the back of the thighs, more so than on the front of the sit bones. That pelvis has to be able to move. Right, you're slid a bit. And for some of us, this might feel, we might not be used to that much pressure in the abdomen because we haven't been letting that pelvis move. We haven't been increasing the amount of flexion so that pelvis moves and comes to the thigh bone. Okay? Like if I put my finger there and as I go, I should feel my ASIS like pinch into those tissues at the top of the thigh. That's how I know this tag is coming because my pelvis is moving. Versus this angle staying put and me reaching and rounding through my spine, which is also fine. I just would like us to be able to do both. Okay, so if you found, my seat, I get that movement of the pelvis, yada, 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 all feels good. Then one other option might be the bum right on the seat, feet on the wall. Now I'm going to take the blanket and pull it right up into my hip crease here. Again, think shoulders come up and forward. You might wiggle back so you can find, again, pressure should be on the thighs, not on the sit bones. Here, if that pelvis has rotated on the leg bones. I'm going to grab a couple blocks just for my hands. I'm going to breathe to the back of the pelvis. Exhale, get some tension in the belly. Keep that tension as I inhale, so I direct the breath back here. And then it'll start to feel less, there'll be less discomfort with the pressure in your abdomen as you work with this breath. I could also place my blocks. I need my arms and just let my head hang. So now my pelvis has moved forward. Now my spine is rounding. Now everybody's coming forward, which is the point of the forward fold and where we get the calming effects. And I'm going to use my arms, press me back up, and you'll feel where pressure Finds the butthole again. Okay. So hopefully you found in that exploration of like a seated forward fold some places that become a bit more workable and usable for you versus just trying to like push the torso forward. Okay. So we're going to come down, 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 down. We're going to use blanket on the chair. I like, how do I want to do this? Yeah, we'll go that way. So I like a little bit more height under my ankles, feet. So I've folded in half, done a bit of a roll there so that my back of my knees isn't going to hit the cold chair here. I bring the pelvis up close to the chair and then bring those legs onto it. So then you'll see how the heels have that extra little roll under them so it doesn't feel like my feet are just hanging out in space. And then the chair back, that front edge, has the just above the meaty part of my calf resting on it. Again, this isn't going to feel as comfortable if you're the chair seat because they all elevate a little bit. If it's poking directly in the beefiest part of your calf, I find that's uncomfortable. If you shimmy the chair so that it's more of below the meatiest part of the calf, it's better. And then I find if I were to bring the balls of the feet out to rest on the slope that creates the back of the chair, that's also another option that works. But I'm going to stick with my heels and front of the chair seat right at that knee pit for today. And depending on your limb length, you could fold a blanket or a towel to put underneath your pelvis. If your femurs are like shorter, and so then it feels like there isn't the weight of the legs like settling into the hip socket and the pelvis firmly landed on the floor. And for the next few moments, just really focus on inhaling right down into the pelvis. Exhaling from the pelvis right up to the shoulders, the throat. Fill right down to the pelvis. And then for the next few moments, you're going to focus on that inhale, stretching all the way out to the sides of your body, those sides that we were kind of playing with, wrapping forward and back. And then exhale, find that midline. Inhale out to the sides. And then you're welcome to keep your legs on the chair. Or if you want, you can scoot the chair out of the way and take the legs out long. Oh, sorry. Into Shavasana.